if you are here, then obviously you are just celebrating God's goodness with me today for Thankful Thursday. Thank you, Jesus. So, today's Thankful Thursday, God's Kisses, is all about my husband's new job. Yes, I said a new job. So he was working at his old job for 5 years, but we weren't seeing the growth that we were hoping for within that time. And there's actually a few testimonies within that aspect and time frame of his life, which we'll talk about later. Maybe I can get him to testify about it himself. I don't know. But if not, I'll at least make sure I ask for permission. So, he actually started a new position today with a hardware store. We're not allowed to give the details, I guess. But there are very, very many benefits. And so far, I mean, it was just his first day, but he was very excited to hear about all of the things that they offer, the growth that he can make. And of course, financially, we're happy as well because that will be a better source of income for our family. So that's definitely a blessing. You know how it is out here. It's not easy. So God is good and he is our provider. I mean, always, always, always providing. And I'm just going to share this little tidbit because it just kind of shows how God is lining things up and he knows what's coming up, because we don't know what's going to happen. We can anticipate, we can make plans, we can hope, we can, try to do our part and put things in place, but we don't really know ultimately what will happen. And this year I started a new position with a virtual school, and it is different than what I've been doing for the past 7 years when I was teaching at a physical brick and mortar school. And this particular position is literally just like a 10-month contract, and normally I would get a paycheck. Basically, I would continue getting a paycheck over the summer, but that's not happening this time around. And I actually did not even realize that until about maybe 2 weeks ago. And I'm just like, ooh, that's really good to know. It's something that I would have liked to have heard a long time ago, so that we could see how we could make additional provisions. But God knew, didn't he? He knew what was coming up, and he knew that we were going to need some help. And everything just worked out the way that it's supposed to work out, and the time frame that it's supposed to work out. And God, mind you, even if this new job wasn't here, I know that he would provide, because he has literally blessed us with people in our lives who would be like, oh, here's a gift because random. Or, oh, I heard about such and such, let us bless you. And I'm just like, wow, God, I don't even know how to thank you, because, I mean, this is huge. And it's almost like, that splitting the Red Sea kind of moment where you're like, okay, I don't know where I can go from here. I really am stuck. I can only do, this is all I got. I've been doing my best, but this is all I have. What am I supposed to do? And God is like, don't worry. I can do things you won't even imagine. Do you think that the Israelites imagined that God was going to split the water so that they could walk across as if it was dry land, and they would have mountains of water just by them? Okay, have you seen Moana? So the water kind of almost kind of a rendition of the splitting the sea, where it was like dry, the baby Moana was able to walk in, and there was like a wall of the water. She could see, she just saved the little baby turtle, right? So she could see the little baby turtle swimming with its mom, and it was kind of like an aquarium style thing. So I just say that so that you can imagine, right? So if you imagine that you are like walking on dry land, however, there is water, there's no glass. Like when you're at the aquarium, you have a glass at least right there, separating you from the water and, the creatures within. There is no glass, but it is literally just a wall of water. You can see what is on each side, but you're just walking through that. And like, I would never have imagined. I mean, now we can imagine it, right? Because it's something that happened, but nobody, I'm so certain that nobody was like, you know what? If God would just split the water so we could walk through, like, I'm just saying, I don't think anybody was imagining that. But how amazing that God knew, okay, so Pharaoh's going to say you can go. However, he's going to change his mind and he's coming after you. And just so that I can remind you of how mighty I am and show them how mighty I am, I'm going to do something amazing. And it's just because I love you. And I know you're going to doubt me and you're going to need some reminders later. So, I mean, it's just so amazing. Anyway, I'm amazed by it. I don't know. I hope you are too. When you just think about like how God works in our lives to split the waters for us. Like, that is so awesome. And I mean, does he have to? No, he doesn't have to do that. We could be, and of course, I'm not saying that we don't have our struggles, right? Life is life. It's not easy. We know that. I made a video. Go back and see it if you haven't. So I'm going to try to remember to put a little card up here. Maybe two if I can. I don't know. I'll put one up there for Can't Give Up Now, because I know sometimes life is like, look, I'm done. I don't want to deal with this anymore. And it's not that, and because of course you know that taking our own life, God is not with that, right? So we don't want to go that route. But the thought of, if I wasn't here, I would literally be at peace. And instead of dealing with this craziness, right? So sometimes that thought might come in your mind. I don't know if it ever came in your mind. I'm not going to lie. I have had that thought pass through my mind a few times. Not like, okay, what am I going to do to harm myself or anything like that? But more so like, man, it would be nice if I didn't have to deal with any of this. I think most people probably think that. Anyway, so if we're thinking about how we just don't want to deal with life anymore, we have to think about the fact that God literally came down in a human form to deal with life like we deal with life, so that he could sympathize, empathize, whichever word is appropriate, with us. So he knew what it felt like to deal with this crazy life. And so that he could comfort us, and so that he could support us, and so that he could give us examples and give us the encouragement that we need. And that is why we just cannot give up. We cannot give up, because God does have a purpose for you. He has a plan for you. And it is not to harm you, but it is to prosper you. And will it always be a beautiful thing? Every day of your life is going to be, flowers, roses, rainbows, butterflies. No, but you cannot give up. So as a reminder, go back and watch that video. Can't give up now. And then I also made a video that life is hard, because it just is simply challenging. So you can check that video out as well. I wanted to just really thank the Lord, because he is really always providing for us. And I'm going to say us now, but God has done tremendous things in my life. Like overall, like I have a lot of testimonies. And eventually as time goes on, things will be revealed. But he has really always had that ram in the bush for me. And for anybody who's watching, like, why did she say ram in the bush? Just in case you don't know, uh, God told Abraham to sacrifice his son, his only son Isaac. And Abraham didn't ask any questions. He took his son and he was going to sacrifice him. Now, you might think human sacrifice, but God doesn't work like that. No, he doesn't. But he was testing Abraham. And he wanted to see, would Abraham put someone or something above him? Abraham proved himself to be faithful and to do whatever it was that God wanted him to do. But as you probably thought, maybe you didn't think, but no, God is not in favor of human sacrifices. So he put a ram in the bush. So Abraham was getting ready to go forward with the command that he received, and God provided that ram to be sacrificed in place of Isaac, which of course is symbolism, by the way, right? For Jesus, as he came and was the only son of God. Isaac was the only son of Abraham, and a blessing, and it's a miracle in itself because they were very old at that time. I should know their age because I've like done all these trivia things so many times. However, it's not coming to me. So if I find it, I'll pop it up here somewhere. But he was so old, so it was like a child now. That's crazy, but a blessing, right? And then it's like, but you want me to kill my child, my only child, and in my old age, like this miracle? What? Which is crazy. But if, I mean, I have my son Dexter. Lord, I know you won't ask of that, so I'm grateful, like so grateful that you wouldn't ask me to do that. But I couldn't imagine doing it. Like, even just like, okay, God, I'm gonna take him and I'm gonna plan for it, but I know you're gonna provide a sacrifice. Like, even just trying to think about doing that it's hard for me. But the point is, he provided that ram so he did not have to sacrifice his son. And that's supposed to connect our minds and hearts to the sacrifice that God made for us by giving his only begotten son. For us to imagine what would that be, to sacrifice for our child to die for others. So, that reminds me of a story. Okay, and then I'll be done. So I was actually doing my Bible study, and I have to think about the person's name and let you guys know. But it's a Bible plan that I'm doing through the YouVersion app, which I absolutely love that app, the Bible app. It's not sponsored. I'm not monetized. I barely have I have 20 subscribers, but which I'm grateful for, by the way. If you haven't subscribed, let me just stop for a second and say, if you have not subscribed, can you subscribe? Do you mind? All you have to do is just press the little button that says subscribe. That's it. And then you're helping me out and you're helping others out, because the more people that subscribe, the more people that will see my videos, and then the more people that I would hope will be blessed, and you know how it works. So moving on. So the YouVersion app is it has like a variety of Bible versions that you can read: King James Version, New King James, all the other ones. And then not only that, but they have this the verse of the day, but they put a little spin to it. And now it's like it's a whole interactive thing, which is really awesome. I like that aspect of it. And then they have a variety, like I don't know how many plans, thousands of plans, like where you could read a devotional, and then of course the scriptures are that go along with the devotional are embedded there. And it's just really awesome. So if you don't have that app, I definitely I recommend it. It's my favorite. And there are videos. Just wanted to plug that in there just in case you're looking for something, because that's a really good resource. But with all of that being said, I wanted to tell the story that he shared, where there was this little girl who needed a blood transfusion or something like that. The match that she had was her younger brother. And, they asked him, do you mind, helping your sister by giving, your blood? And he thought about it and he was like, yeah, I guess so. I will. And so they were going through the process, and as he's feeling weak and things like that, and he's just like, I don't actually, I can't recall, but it was either he asked, how long will it be until I die, or will it hurt? One or the other. But the little boy thought he was going to die. Like, he thought he was giving all of his blood to his sister, and he was willing to do that so that she could live. Isn't that amazing? Wow. But that just made me think about it when we think about that sacrifice, and how the Lord sacrificed himself for us. It's huge, and it's really unheard of. And then we think about the pure innocence, genuine tenderness and kindness of a child. And that is how we should be. So without that being said, there are like a million different ideas and tidbits here. But hopefully something there resonated with you today. Think about what it is that you can be grateful for. Besides the things that we always should be grateful for and we don't want to take for granted, right? Thank you, Lord, for this breath in my body, right? So we know that those are those things that are like, God, if it wasn't for you, this is impossible. But think about what's happening in your life right now that you're like, I didn't think about it, but it could have totally been a whole different way, gone a different way, or I could have been experiencing XYZ right now, or because I made this choice, a year ago, 10 years ago, this could have happened to me, but it didn't. Or, just kind of think about that. So sometimes we get caught up in, our daily routine, and we don't really ponder on the things that could have been, which no, we don't need to be living in the past and regret or anything like that. But just so that you could recognize, wow, God, you really brought me through. Wow, you really split that sea for me. Wow, you really provided that ram for me. So I hope I encourage you. And if you are willing to share, please share in the comments below. I love to hear how God is blessing you. Thank you for those of you who normally do. Shout out to my mom. She's always leaving a comment in the section below. I appreciate that. But really, I would love to celebrate with you God's kisses and how he just shows his love in your life. Until next time, God bless you. I love you. See you later.